Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Rachel and I'm the graduate gemologist and jewelry expert at BriteCo Jewelry and Watch Insurance. Today we're going to talk about how diamonds are made and the cutting process. Diamonds are grown 120 to 150 miles below the Earth's surface. This is the area, the environment, let's say, that has the perfect amount of pressure and heat for those carbon atoms to start to crystallize. The crystal formation is over the course of millions of years, and those crystals are eventually brought closer to the Earth's surface by underground volcanic activity. That underground volcanic activity creates a sort of pipeline, let's call it, and it brings those diamonds much closer to the surface for us to go down and get them. Now we're gonna hop into diamond cutting and how a diamond is cut. Before we start to cut the diamond, the very first step that we have to do is pre-sort the diamonds. Once diamonds are mined, they're divided into different groups, and we do our best to sort of pre-grade them. What colors and what clarities and what sizes do we think that these diamonds are going to finish to? And we put them into piles. The next step to the cutting process is mapping the diamond. Before we can even, get to cutting the shapes and doing all of the faceting, we have to really understand what that rough crystal is going to produce. One of my favorite examples to give is cookie cutting. So remember, when you're rolling out the dough, you don't just haphazardly go in with your cookie cutter shape because you would waste a lot of dough. What you try to do is strategically place that cookie cutter as close to the previous cookie as possible so that you can maximize that dough and have the least amount of waste. That is essentially what a diamond cutter is doing when they're planning and mapping the stone. They're analyzing that crystal, they're seeing how many diamonds they can get out of this rough crystal, what's the biggest diamond they can get from this rough crystal, and what's the best color and clarity they think they can cut from this diamond crystal as well. So a lot goes into the pre-planning before we even start cutting. The next step to cutting a diamond is cleaving the diamond or sawing the diamond. Now here's a common misconception. Yes, diamonds are the hardest naturally occurring substance that we have on this earth, but every diamond has a cleavage point. So what that means is if that diamond is hit perfectly on that perfect spot, it's gonna chop in half. Before a diamond cutter can facet the stone, they have to find that cleavage point and make sure that that diamond is pre-cleaved, essentially, to make sure that whatever shape they're cutting isn't going to chip or be at a higher risk of chipping down the road. So they either cleave it, which is just what it sounds, they find that spot and they kind of do a nice little hit, and the diamond should break in half pretty evenly. If they have to cut the diamond for the shape that they're hoping for against that cleavage plane, then they'll use a saw. Modern day technology has gotten super fancy, so they have lasers, they have water drills that can do this for them, but essentially we'll cut that diamond in half, and that's the very first cutting stage. The next step for the diamond cutting process is called brooding. So diamonds really need diamonds to cut other diamonds. So when we're brooding a diamond, what we're doing is we're creating that initial shape. It's kind of a blockier stage of the cutting process. So what they do is they take two diamonds and they put them on these sort of perpendicular lathes. And they have these kind of rotating in a pattern. And these diamonds are going to kind of bump up against each other in this circular routine. And those diamonds are going to help each other form those outer circumferences and those big blockier facets that we need to then further define the facets of the diamond. The last and final step of cutting a diamond is polishing and brillianteering. This is where the diamond cutter takes that brooded rough outline, that brooded shape that we did in the previous step. And this is where they're really going to fine-tune those facets. Each shape, let's say, has a facet pattern that it's required to be an excellent cut or a very good cut within that shape. So the polisher and the brillianteer, their job is to really go in and make sure all of those facets are not only super clean and super shiny, but also aligned properly. because when the facets of the diamond are perfectly aligned, the most amount of light is going to bounce back and forth within that diamond and in turn make your diamond very sparkly. The cut of a diamond is so important because that is ultimately what makes the diamond beautiful. If we didn't cut our diamonds properly, it would look like a cloudy piece of glass. And let's be honest, nobody wants that. We all prefer our diamonds to be sparkly. The cut of a diamond is my most important factor because it's the only thing that the diamond wasn't born with. It's born with its carat weight, it's born with its color, and it's born with its clarity. The cut is what we give to the diamond to make it beautiful and make it sparkle. We want to make sure that all of those angles are lined up perfectly so that the most amount of light remains in your diamond and therefore sparkles from within. If you have more curiosity on the different shapes and different diamond cuts, go ahead and view my other videos. Once you have that beautifully cut, sparkly diamond on your finger, make sure you get it insured. At BriteCo, we're happy to offer you insurance on loss, stolen, theft, and mysterious disappearance at an amazing and competitive price compared to what you'll find elsewhere. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll look forward to seeing you guys next time.